In the 6th stanza, Donne continues his comparison between ordinary fishermen and the beloved. He says, "Let coarse bold hands from slimy nest, the bedded fish in banks out rest." Here, he describes rough and strong fishermen pulling fish out from muddy and dirty places near the riverbank. The words coarse and bold make these fishermen seem harsh, rough, and unpleasant. They use force instead of beauty. The phrase slimy nest also creates an ugly image of mud and dirt. This is very different from the soft and beautiful image of the beloved in the earlier stanzas. Then Donne speaks about another type of fisherman. He says that some people use sleeve silk flies to catch fish. These are artificial flies made of silk, used as bait in fishing. They are not real insects. They are only made to look attractive in order to deceive the fish. Donne calls these fishermen curious traitors because they trick the fish by using something false. The sleeve silk flies are an important symbol in the poem. They stand for false attraction, artificial beauty, or the tricks that people sometimes use to attract others. Some people may depend on rich clothes, makeup, lies, or sweet words. But all these things are like the false flies used by fishermen. Donne criticizes such deception. He suggests that artificial beauty is not true beauty. Real attraction should not come from tricks. That is why the final stanza is so important. Donne says, "For thee, thou needst no such deceit." In simple words, the beloved does not need any false methods. She does not need to pretend, to decorate herself, or to use tricks in order to attract others. Then comes the most famous line of the poem, "For thou thyself art thine own bait." This means that the beloved herself is enough. Her beauty is natural and powerful. She herself becomes the bait that attracts everyone. Finally, the speaker makes a humorous confession. He says that any fish which is not caught by her must be wiser than he is. In other words, he himself has already fallen in love with her and has already been trapped by her beauty. This creates the final irony of the poem. At first, the speaker seemed to be the fisherman. He spoke as if he wanted to catch the beloved. But in the end, we understand that he is actually the fish. The beloved is the true hunter, and the speaker is the one who has been caught. So, the speaker is both fisherman and fish, and this clever twist gives the poem its wit and charm. The first major theme of the poem is love and attraction. Donne presents love as a natural and powerful force. Just as fish are naturally drawn toward bait, people are naturally drawn toward beauty and love. The speaker does not show love as something forced or planned. Instead, he shows that attraction happens automatically. This is why the fishing image is so important. The entire poem uses the metaphor of fishing to explain how love works. The second important theme is beauty. Throughout the poem, the beloved is described as extraordinarily beautiful. The speaker says that her eyes are warmer than the sun and that she is more beautiful than both the sun and the moon. These exaggerated descriptions show that her beauty is not ordinary. According to the speaker, her beauty is so powerful that everyone is attracted to her without any effort. The third theme is seduction. The whole poem is like an invitation. From the very first line, "Come live with me, and be my love," the speaker is trying to persuade the beloved to come with him. He creates a beautiful picture of rivers, golden sand, and happiness in order to attract her. However, the tone is not serious or forceful. It is playful, gentle, and charming. The speaker is trying to win her heart through cleverness and imagination. Another important theme is illusion versus reality. Donne compares the beloved with ordinary fishermen. Other fishermen use false methods such as nets, hooks, and artificial flies. These things symbolize deception and false attraction. In real life, some people may use artificial beauty, false promises, or tricks to attract others. But the beloved is different. She does not need anything false because her beauty is real and natural. So, the poem suggests that true beauty is more powerful than anything artificial. The final major theme is the power of the beloved. In many traditional love poems, the man is active and the woman is passive. The man chases, and the woman is simply admired. But in this poem, Donne changes that idea. The beloved becomes the powerful one. She is the center of attraction, and everyone moves toward her. Even the speaker himself admits that he has been caught by her. So, in the end, the woman controls the situation, and the speaker becomes helpless before her beauty. In The Bait, John Donne uses many symbols. These symbols help us understand the deeper meaning of the poem. The river is not only a real river. It symbolizes the world of love, pleasure, and romance. It is the place where attraction and emotional relationships happen. The peaceful and beautiful river creates the perfect setting for love. The fish symbolize lovers or men who are attracted to beauty. Just as fish swim toward bait, people are naturally drawn toward the beloved. The fish also show how powerless people can become when they fall in love. The bait is the most important symbol in the poem. It stands for the beauty and charm of the beloved. Normally, bait is used to attract fish. In the same way, the beloved's beauty attracts everyone. But unlike ordinary bait, she does not need anything extra because she herself is enough. The hook and line symbolize the attraction and trap of love. Love can make people willingly come closer, but at the same time, it can also trap them. In the poem, the speaker himself becomes trapped by the beloved's beauty. The sun and moon symbolize ordinary beauty and natural light. Donne says that the beloved is more beautiful than both. This means that her beauty is greater than anything found in nature. Finally, the sleeve silk flies symbolize false attraction or deceit. These artificial flies are used by ordinary fishermen to trick fish. In the same way, some people use false beauty, sweet words, or tricks to attract others. Donne says that the beloved is different because her beauty is natural and genuine. In this poem, the most important poetic device is the metaphysical conceit. The comparison continues throughout the poem as an extended metaphor. When Donne says, "For thou thyself art thine own bait," he means that the beloved herself is enough to attract everyone. Just as bait attracts fish, her beauty attracts lovers naturally. Many things in the poem are symbolic. The fish represent lovers or men who are attracted to the beloved. The river symbolizes the world of love and pleasure. The hooks, lines, nets, and fishing tools stand for the different tricks or methods that people use to attract others. The sleeve silk flies are especially important because they symbolize false beauty, deception, and artificial attraction. The opening line, "Come live with me, and be my love," is an allusion to Christopher Marlowe's poem The Passionate Shepherd to his love. Donne borrows this line but changes the simple pastoral poem into a witty and intelligent love poem. Donne also uses a great deal of imagery. The words, golden sands, and crystal brooks, create visual imagery because they help us imagine a beautiful countryside scene. The phrase, "the river whispering run," creates auditory imagery because we can almost hear the soft sound of the river. The line, "warmed by thy eyes more than the sun," creates tactile imagery because it gives the feeling of warmth. There are several examples of personification in the poem. The river is said to whisper, which gives it a human quality. The fish are described as enamored, meaning that they seem to fall in love like human beings. Donne even says that the fish are begging themselves they may betray, as if they are willingly asking to be caught. The poem also contains hyperbole, or exaggeration. Donne says that the beloved's eyes are warmer than the sun and that her beauty is greater than both the sun and the moon. He also says that if he can see her, he no longer needs the light of the sun or moon. These exaggerated statements show how deeply he admires her. Irony is another important device. At first, the speaker seems to be the fisherman who wants to catch the beloved. But at the end, we discover that he himself has been caught. This is situational irony because the result is the opposite of what we expect. The final line, "That fish, that is not catched thereby, alas, is wiser far than I," humorously shows that the speaker thinks he is more foolish than the fish that escape. This also creates a paradox. The catcher becomes the caught. The lover who tries to trap someone is himself trapped by love. This contradiction is one of the cleverest ideas in the poem. Donne uses contrast and antithesis to make his ideas stronger. He contrasts ordinary fishermen, who use nets, rods, and false bait, with the beloved, who needs no tricks at all. The line, "gladder to catch thee than thou him," is an example of antithesis because it reverses the normal idea of who catches whom. The poem is also musical because of sound devices. Donne uses alliteration in phrases such as silken lines and silver hooks, and coarse bold hands. The repeated sounds make the lines smooth and pleasant. Assonance appears in "Come live with me" and "Be my love," where the repeated long e sound creates softness. Consonance in "silken lines and silver hooks" adds harmony to the line. The phrase "live bath" contains a slight erotic suggestion. It may suggest not only the river but also closeness and intimacy between the speaker and the beloved. In the same way, the line about the beloved swimming in the river can have a romantic and sensual meaning. Donne also uses inversion in the line, "If thou, to be so seen, be's it loath." The word order is changed to fit the rhythm and style of the poem. Throughout the poem, the speaker directly addresses the beloved by using the word thou. This is called apostrophe. The rhyme scheme of the poem is AABB in each group of 4 lines. This gives the poem a smooth, musical, and song-like quality. The poem is mainly written in iambic tetrameter, which means that each line usually has 4 beats. This rhythm makes the poem gentle and flowing. There are also examples of enjambment, where the meaning continues from one line to the next without stopping. For example, "And their enamored fish will stay, begging themselves they may betray." Donne also uses caesura in the final line, where the pause after "alas" adds feeling and self-mockery. Finally, the poem ends with wit and self-mockery. Donne humorously admits that he himself has been trapped by the beloved. The tone changes from confidence at the beginning to humble confession at the end. This tone shift makes the ending more powerful and memorable. A metaphysical conceit is a long and unusual comparison between 2 very different things. John Donne is famous for using such comparisons in his poetry. In The Bait, the entire poem is based on one main conceit. Love is compared to fishing. In this comparison, the beloved becomes the bait, and the lovers become the fish. Just as fish are attracted to bait and come toward it, people are attracted to the beauty of the beloved. This idea continues from the beginning of the poem to the end, so the whole poem is built around this single comparison. This conceit is important because it is surprising and unusual. Most love poems compare the beloved to flowers, stars, or angels. But Donne compares her to bait. Because the idea is so unexpected, it catches the reader's attention immediately. At the same time, the conceit mixes romance with intelligence. The poem is not only emotional, it is also clever and thoughtful. That is why the comparison becomes powerful and memorable. The style of The Bait is simple, smooth, and attractive. One of its most important features is its conversational style. The speaker talks directly to the beloved as if he is having a personal conversation with her. This makes the poem feel natural and friendly. The poem also has a musical and lyrical tone. The short lines, regular rhyme, and smooth rhythm make it sound almost like a song. The rhyme pattern and soft words create a pleasant flow from one line to the next. Donne uses playful language throughout the poem. He speaks about love through the image of fishing, and this gives the poem a light and amusing quality. At the same time, he uses wit, which means cleverness and intelligence. The poem is not only romantic, it is also full of smart ideas and surprising comparisons. The lines are short and easy to follow. Because of this, the poem feels smooth and graceful. Donne also beautifully blends nature and love. Rivers, sand, sunlight, moonlight, fish, and flowers are all connected with the emotions of love and attraction. Unlike many of Donne's later religious poems, which are often difficult and serious, The Bait is easier to understand. It is lighter, more cheerful, and more pleasant to read. This is why it is often one of the first poems students enjoy when they begin to study John Donne. The mood of The Bait is romantic and pleasant. The poem creates a dreamlike world of rivers, golden sand, clear water, and beauty. Everything seems peaceful, attractive, and full of charm. As we read the poem, we feel that we are entering a beautiful world created by the speaker's imagination. The tone of the poem is persuasive because the speaker is trying to convince the beloved to come with him. At the same time, the tone is playful and witty. Donne uses clever ideas and humorous comparisons instead of serious or emotional language. Above all, the tone is loving, because every line shows the speaker's deep admiration for the beloved. The Bait is one of John Donne's most attractive and enjoyable love poems. Unlike many of his other poems, which can be difficult and full of complicated ideas, this poem is simple and easy to understand. At the same time, it still has the intelligence and cleverness for which Donne is famous. The poem is beautiful because of its natural imagery. Donne creates a lovely picture of golden sand, clear rivers, sunlight, moonlight, and fish swimming in the water. These images make the poem pleasant and dreamlike. Another reason why the poem is important is its unique conceit. Donne compares love to fishing, the beloved to bait, and lovers to fish. This unusual comparison makes the poem original and memorable. The poem also mixes humor with love. The speaker playfully praises the beloved and finally admits that he himself has been trapped by her beauty. This ending is both witty and ironic, and it leaves a strong impression on the reader. So, the poem is not really about catching fish. It is actually about the mysterious power of beauty and love, and how they can attract and control people without any effort. The first important quotation is, "Come live with me, and be my love." This line is the speaker's invitation to the beloved. He asks her to come and share a life of love and happiness with him. The line is soft, romantic, and persuasive. It is also important because John Donne borrowed it from Christopher Marlowe's poem The Passionate Shepherd to his love and then changed it into his own metaphysical style. The second important line is, "Warmed by thy eyes more than the sun." Here, the speaker says that the beloved's eyes are brighter and warmer than the sun itself. This is an example of exaggeration, or hyperbole. Donne uses it to show that the beloved's beauty is extraordinary and more powerful than nature. Another important line is, "Gladder to catch thee than thou him." This means that the fish are happier to come toward the beloved than she is to catch them. The line has a deeper meaning. The fish represent lovers or men, so Donne is saying that people willingly fall in love with the beloved because of her beauty. The line, "Thou darkenest both," refers to the sun and the moon. The speaker says that the beloved is so beautiful that she makes both the sun and moon seem less bright. Again, Donne uses exaggeration to praise her beauty and to show that she is greater than nature itself. The most important line in the poem is, "For thou thyself art thine own bait." This is the central idea of the whole poem. It means that the beloved does not need false beauty, tricks, or artificial attraction. She herself is enough. Her natural beauty attracts everyone, just as bait attracts fish. Finally, the poem ends with the line, "Alas, is wiser far than I." Here, the speaker humorously admits that he himself has been trapped by the beloved. He says that any fish which escapes her must be wiser than he is. This line is important because it gives the poem its witty and ironic ending. Rare and lesser-known points about The Bait are very useful in competitive examinations because they make an answer more impressive. One important point is that The Bait is often considered a parody or reworking of The Passionate Shepherd to His Love by Christopher Marlowe. Marlowe presents a simple pastoral world of shepherds, flowers, and romance. Donne keeps the opening line but changes the poem into something more intellectual and witty. Donne replaces the shepherd's natural world with a world of intellectual love. Instead of simple romance, he introduces clever comparisons, irony, and metaphysical conceit. Thus, the poem becomes more than a love song, it becomes an exploration of attraction and human psychology. Another rare point is that the poem reverses traditional gender roles. Usually, in older love poetry, the man is active and the woman is passive. In The Bait, however, the beloved becomes the real source of power. She is not the one being trapped. Instead, she is the bait who attracts and controls everyone. The final line of the poem is also important because it is self-mocking. When the speaker says that anyone who is not attracted to the beloved is wiser far than I, he laughs at himself. This self-irony is one of Donne's special qualities and is often mentioned by critics. A deeper point is that Donne frequently presents love as both pleasure and trap. In this poem, the speaker seems happy and playful, yet the fishing image also suggests danger. Love attracts people, but once they are caught, they lose their freedom. The poem also contains hidden erotic suggestions. Words like swim, live bath, and catch may have double meanings. They can suggest physical closeness and desire beneath the surface of the poem. Donne often uses such indirect suggestions instead of speaking openly. Finally, The Bait is one of the best and easiest poems for explaining the idea of metaphysical conceit in examinations. The long comparison, love as fishing, the beloved as bait, and lovers as fish, runs through the whole poem. Because the comparison is clear and memorable, students often use this poem to define metaphysical poetry and Donne's style. Here are a few quick revision points. John Donne's The Bait is a love poem from the metaphysical age. Its main poetic device is the metaphysical conceit. Throughout the poem, Donne compares love to fishing. The beloved becomes the bait, while the fish represent lovers attracted to her beauty. The poem begins with a line borrowed from Christopher Marlowe, but Donne gives it a more witty and intellectual style. The most famous line is, "For thou thyself art thine own bait." The tone is playful, romantic, and clever. In the end, the speaker humorously admits that he himself has been trapped by the beloved's beauty. The Bait is a charming and intelligent love poem in which John Donne turns an ordinary fishing scene into a powerful expression of love. Through beautiful imagery, wit, and metaphysical conceit, he shows that true beauty needs no artificial help. The beloved herself becomes the bait, and in the end, the lover himself is trapped by love. If you enjoyed this quick explanation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more English literature videos and exam revision tips.